but they should put the pressure on Russia rather than on Ukraine, who hasn't done anything wrong. You know, we saw the energy crisis in January, and what we saw there was that, you know, Russia abandoned Transnistrian people. The one that helped was European Union to actually solve this issue. Reintegration of your country is, of course, in your hands, but when it comes to European unification or joining the European Union, then it can't be an obstacle. Of course, elections are for the people of Moldova to decide whose ideas to take the country forward are the best.
Thank you for being here. And my first question will be about the war in Ukraine, because of course it influences Moldova a lot. Just recently you said that US administration, Trump administration, isn't doing enough and isn't doing everything they can to press Russia for the settlement. What kind of actions do you expect from them? And is European Union relying on the US administration to stop this war?
No, I mean, this is clear that it takes two to want peace. It only takes one to want war. And what we see right now, I mean, Ukraine agreed to unconditional ceasefire over a month ago already. Russia is playing games. So what we want to see is more pressure on Russia. If we put more pressure on Russia, then you know, they would also see that it's impossible for them to win this war. And you know, this war would be over immediately if they withdraw their troops from Ukraine and stop bombing Ukraine. I mean, again, today, or actually this night, there was bombing of Kiev where 9 people got killed and lots of people injured. These were not soldiers. It was civilian population. It was regular people who are living their lives. So of course, because Trump administration has said that they will end this war, so they actually have the tools in their hands to end this war, but they should put the pressure on Russia rather than on Ukraine, who hasn't done anything wrong.
But what kind of tools they haven't used yet, because of they mentioned only sanctions?
Yes, but the sanctions are a very strong tool, and there are very strong sanctions that could be put so that Russia does not have the funding for its war machine really to continue this war. I mean, if we do this together with European countries that we have put forward, and also America, then together we can convince Russia to stop this war. But right now, I mean, it seems like the pressure is more on Ukraine, who has been attacked and who is clearly a victim here.
Yes, of course. And what are Europe's scenarios in case Trump will just go out of all the negotiation process, or even with the US, negotiations will take years?
For us, it's important to support Ukraine as much as possible, because they are defending their country, they are defending themselves from the brutal attacks of Russia. So we have to help them that they are able to defend themselves, because it's not only Ukraine that is at stake, it's much broader. If this pays off, that you attack another country and you walk away with more than you had before, then it's going to be dangerous for all the neighbors of Russia, but not only Russia, but all the world, because all the aggressors or would-be aggressors in the world are carefully taking notes that this pays off, and they will also go for their neighbors' territories. So we will have more wars, and that's why it's very important to stop this right now. Europe has also the means and the political will to do it, to also signal that we are behind Ukraine, even if the Americans are no longer there.
But we already seen this kind of right swing in Europe also, as in America. And how can it influence in the future the process of Euro integration of Moldova and Ukraine? Because for now, Hungary is already against the enlargement, and they can be not only ones in the future.
Yes, I think in terms of enlargement, we need to do our homework on both sides. I mean, Moldova needs to do our homework when it comes to the reforms that you should do for your own country, but also European Union needs to do our homework to be ready when you are ready. So that also requires to look into really our decision-making process. Because we can't be held hostage like this. So I mean, enlargement is important. It's more like unification of Europe. If you look at the map, Moldova is in Europe geographically. It's also important that you are part of the European family, like the majority of Moldovans want. So I think there's a lot we can do on the way, and also to be aware that our adversaries actually don't want us to be united.
As I understand, and you already mentioned in several interviews, Transnistrian question is not an obstacle for Moldovan Euro integration, but still the question remains as the Russian troops in the region. How do you think, how are possible this withdrawal of Russian army from the region, and is it possible without the participation both Ukraine and Russia?
No, I mean, when it comes to Transnistria, then, we saw the energy crisis in January. And what we saw there was that, Russia abandoned Transnistrian people. The one that helped was European Union to actually solve this issue. So we are also your friends also on the West Bank. So I think this is important message. The reintegration of your country is, of course, in your hands, but when it comes to European unification or joining the European Union, then it can't be an obstacle for joining. We have also other countries in European Union that have similar issues, and these were not obstacles, and it can't be obstacle, because otherwise it gives our adversaries a message that if you do this, then you can also prevent the alliances that you don't like, and I don't think it's the right message.
Of course, but what is the place of Transnistria in the new picture of European security?
Well, of course, all these regions where Russians are active and really using the military, I mean, this is dangerous for the whole Europe. I mean, in NATO, even NATO has said that Russia is the most direct threat to NATO's countries. So clearly they are using this everywhere to create chaos. And we have to fight back, really to stand and defend and be ready to defend ourselves from these threats.
Can we expect some kind of defense which is pursuing now your native country, Estonia, which just announced the opening of base in Narva?
Estonia is part of NATO, so we are under NATO's umbrella, which has Article 5 that says attack on one is attack on all. We have 32 countries there. But if you look at the map, then Russia has other neighbors and who are not in NATO. And I think this is much more dangerous. If you look to Central Asian countries, for example, they are between Russia, China, Iran, and Afghanistan. So not very good neighborhood. And they have long borders with Russia. They have critical raw materials. So we have to really make sure that Russia doesn't win in Ukraine. Otherwise, they will go for other countries. And we don't know where it is, but it's clear that Russia is spending more than 9% of their GDP on the military. They will want to use it again unless they are held accountable and really pushed back.
In all of this very difficult context, what do you expect from Moldovan parliamentary elections, which will be held in September this year? Because we've seen the results of European referendum were not so good and bright as we all expected, and our main pro-European party still struggles according to the polls. So what kind of elections do you expect, considering all the Russian informational hybrid war and the general economic situation, which is still difficult?
I think it is, of course, elections are for the people of Moldova to decide whose ideas to take the country forward are the best, and who will be the one to govern Moldova and take Moldova further. And of course, there is always this fight for different ideas. So you have to be very vigilant in this regard. When it comes to misinformation and fighting the foreign malign influence, then of course this is very hard, and we have also developed a rapid response team to help to counter such events, which is of course also going hand in hand with the awareness of people to see whether these hybrid attacks are going on. If they are, then to make them public, and then also to be able to really address them, so the people can then make their choice freely without any manipulation. So I think this is what we all owe to the people of Moldova.
Thank you.
Thank you.